Welcome back to the Sports Show. We're going to talk about athletics. Shane Fuller, the CEO of athletics here in South Australia, has been good enough to give us some time. Shane, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, we were just talking before, mate, before we went on air, about the Olympic Games and the flow-on effect it has, and we all agree there's a flow-on effect. But I, from a personal point of view, I found myself more engaged this time with track and field than I've probably been for a long time, because the Aussies were doing so well. Did you find, I mean, you're a purist, but did you find...
We felt that too, so yeah. I think you're right. And yeah, we, like a lot of people, were glued to our TVs for 2 weeks, or 2.5 weeks. So yeah, we had a 63 strong athletics team in the Australian Olympic team. So there was a lot of great performances, and certainly the public have really latched onto it, and there's a lot of interest in athletics today. Little athletics are getting a lot of phone calls, we're getting a lot of phone calls, so the interest in athletics right now is terrific.
All right, we'll come back to that, mate, because I want to talk about the $6 million upgrade, because it's pretty exciting. Yes, finally, mate, a new track. Don't have to run on the cracked holes anymore, mate. So the government, the Steve Marshall government's put $6 million over the track. Where's that money going to go?
Well, they announced that earlier this year, and the planning is almost complete, and it's about to go out to tender. So the $6 million is going about 5 different ways.
Yes.
The main thing, though, is a complete replacement of the whole track. So the surface is a synthetic surface. That's being replaced, and it will go actually from being a red track to a blue track once that's done. The work's going to start next April and run through to November, so we're going to get our full track and field summer season in before the venue gets closed and the works kick off in earnest. So it's a new track. It's replacing change rooms and toilets at the back training area. It's upgrading toilets and facilities in the main grandstand area. It's some new access control and security control at the front entryway. Yep. So we'll present the entrance to the venue in a slightly different way to what it is currently. And hopefully there's a little bit of change left in that $6 million that we can upgrade part of the car park as well.
Okay.
And how many of your current athletes use that for their day-to-day facilities to train?
Well, quite a lot, Britt. We have, training's open on Monday through to Thursday night from about 4 until 7:30, and on Sunday mornings as well. So on any given, on the bigger nights, which tend to be the Tuesday and Thursday nights, we'd have 100 athletes probably of that sort of order, and Mondays and Tuesdays a little bit less. The pole vault group are out there, two or three times a week, plus Sunday mornings and the weekends. So we have probably 10 to 15,000 across the whole year, 10 to 15,000 athletes that are using it purely for training. And that will be various coaches and their squads coming out to use the facility. And the rest of the coaches and athletes are actually just staying local at their local club environment for their training.
I mean, we're talking about 15,000 athletes coming through there. Then there's always the school groups that come through. The track takes a fairly big pounding over the course of a year.
It does, and this is why the upgrade's needed.
Is there any way to maintain it? I mean, we were talking before, it probably needed to be replaced earlier than it has. Yeah. What would the life expectancy be of this one? And then, can you maintain it? Is there a better way to maintain it?
The maintenance that happens, and it happens most year, there's some patching that gets done. Yeah. So that's an annual maintenance program where there's some work that's done with some high wear areas, like in front of the high jump mat, for example, does get worn out more readily than some other areas, and that does get replaced every few years. But the whole track itself, it has a lifespan of 8 to 10, 12 years. Okay. So we're slightly overdue for this total track replacement, but it's on its way. Yeah.
And the flow-on effect that, we hopefully see after an Olympic Games, especially your little athletics program, how do you integrate that into programs? What programs have you got going at the moment to hopefully increase that participation rates?
Well, we've been doing quite a bit of marketing, and just tapping into the interest that people have shown. A lot of phone calls coming in, but the main thing in the sort of programs we offer and opportunities we offer people to have a go are some community ASS days. So our first week for the summer season was held about a week and a half ago. It was our season launch, and we invited the public. If they want to come and have a go, they can come, and it's a low pressure scenario. You don't need to wear uniforms. and you just come and have a go. So we had 30 or 40 new people came out for that particular day, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've got another one of those coming up shortly at Bridgestone Athletic Centre up north, so the northern suburbs, and that's on Saturday the 6th of November. So we welcome anybody that's interested in having a go either on the track or in the field events, throwing or jumping. There's a lot of choices in athletics, not just one or two things.
Do you see there's a favouring of events, either track or field? Do you see a disparity there at all, or
it's a good question, but it is pretty even. Like, we had a round one of the Copy World Toshiba Interclub on the weekend just gone, and I've had a look at the numbers on Monday earlier this week, and we had about 200 doing the sprints, and we had about 200 doing field events. So it was quite even between that. So there's a few more that run than because we've got some people that are doing some field events and running.
Yep.
Right. So particularly in the horizontal jumps like long jump and triple jump, there'll be sprinters as well. Yeah.
At the start of the season, you mentioned it was a couple of weeks ago, so it was a good opening. The high jumpers, men and the women, both did well.
They did, yeah. The high jump is it's kind of a bit of on a bit of a spike at the moment, given our Australian level athletes that are going really well. So the likes of Nicola McDermott and Eleanor Patterson and Brandon Stark, who have doing very well at the elite top level, like they're winning medals or they're placing in the top 8 in Diamond League events in Europe. So. We've got some great young high jumpers here. Tryphena Hewitt is one of the young female high jumpers who also does pole vault, incidentally. She's from the Teatree Gully Club. High jump is growing in numbers.
I mean, just quickly, I want to go back a year because you had the LED lights put up, of course, last year. Has that been a big plus?
It's been very beneficial for us, yes, for us to be able to hold our twilight meets. And night meets, and some of our distance runs like the 5,000 metre champs or a 10,000 metre championships often are held at night. The conditions the winds are quiet, are lower at night, so we have been able to use the lights more often since they've been upgraded.
I mean, just quickly too, we touched on obviously the start of the season a couple of weeks ago. We've talked about the track. You've got some in the community programs. There's other programs there as well. You've got the programs for the parrots. We
do, yeah. We've kicked off the para program for this year about 3 weeks ago. So we've got about a half a dozen para athletes coming out to try a few different things. Yeah. So the wheelies, they're trying some seated throws, which is where you sort of sit in a very small seat and you throw javelin or the discus. So there's quite a few options for para-athletes if they like to give it a go.
Hey Shane, really appreciate your time. Shane Fullerwood's our special guest, CEO of Athletics SA. You need to get down and look at the track when it goes down next year, but you need to get out and support the athletes now. There's some terrific athletes here in South Australia. Stay with us, still plenty to come.